Listen to me. The version of you that hesitates, the version of you that doubts, the version of you that settles for less, it has to die today. Because that weak version of you, that version is the reason you're not where you want to be. It's the reason you keep making excuses. It's the reason you start but never finish. And as long as you allow it to live, it will rob you of your destiny. But I got news for you. You were never designed to be average. You were never created to struggle through life as a victim. You were built for greatness. You were built to dominate, but you will never walk in power until you kill the version of you that keeps holding you back. The weak version of you is the reason you are stuck. It's the version of you that second guesses every decision, that hesitates when opportunities arise, and that allows fear to dictate your actions. This version of you is comfortable with mediocrity, content with just getting by, and always looking for an easy way out. It makes excuses instead of taking action. It clings to past failures as proof that you are not capable of achieving more. It whispers doubts in your ear every time you think about stepping into something bigger. And as long as you continue to carry this version of yourself, you will never step into your full potential. This weak version of you is built on limiting beliefs. It tells you that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not connected enough. It convinces you that success is for other people, not for you. It reminds you of every mistake you've made, every time you've failed, every moment of embarrassment or rejection. It replays those moments in your mind like a broken record, keeping you chained to a false reality where you are incapable of more. But the truth is, those beliefs are nothing more than lies you've told yourself or lies you've accepted from others. They are not reality, they are a prison. And the longer you allow yourself to live in that prison, the more you reinforce the chains that hold you back. The weak version of you thrives on comfort. It wants you to stay in the same place, doing the same things, repeating the same patterns, because change is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. It requires sacrifice, effort, and discipline. And the weak version of you doesn't want to go through that. It wants you to hit the snooze button, to put things off until tomorrow, to tell yourself you'll start someday. It feeds on procrastination, laziness, and self-doubt, making sure you never take real action towards your goals. And every time you give into it, every time you delay, you strengthen its hold on your life. This version of you is not just holding you back, it's stealing your future. Every moment you waste living in weakness is a moment you could have spent building the life you were meant to have. It is robbing you of opportunities, draining your energy, and keeping you trapped in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. It keeps you in relationships that no longer serve you, in environments that suffocate you, and in a mindset that keeps you small. It convinces you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into the unknown. But in reality, staying the same is the most dangerous choice you could ever make. The weak version of you is afraid of responsibility. It doesn't want to take ownership of your mistakes, your failures, or your life. It wants to blame other people, blame circumstances, blame the economy, blame the past. It will do anything to avoid accountability, because accountability means admitting that you have control over your life. And the moment you accept that truth, the weak version of you loses its power, because if you are in control, then you have no excuse not to take action. If you are in control, then everything you desire is within your reach. And that terrifies the weak version of you, because it knows that once you embrace that truth, it no longer has a place in your life. This version of you is an illusion. It is not who you were created to be. It is a construct made up of fear, doubt, and excuses. It exists only because you allow it to exist. It lives because you feed it with hesitation, with negative self-talk, with inaction. But the moment you stop feeding it, the moment you decide that you will no longer tolerate weakness in your life, it begins to wither. The moment you start taking bold action, pushing through discomfort and committing to growth, the weak version of you starts to die. But understand this, it will not go quietly. It will fight to stay alive. It will try to pull you back every time you take a step forward. It will tell you that you're being unrealistic, that you're moving too fast, that you should slow down and play it safe. It will try to lure you back into old habits, old mindsets, old routines. It will make you question yourself. It will make you want to give up, but you must not listen. You must be relentless in your pursuit of growth. You must silence that voice and move forward anyway. The weak version of you has controlled your life for far too long. It has dictated your choices, limited your potential, and kept you from becoming the person you were meant to be. But it does not have to define you. It does not have to be your reality. You have the power to kill it, to bury it, to leave it behind once and for all. And once you do, you will finally be free to build the strongest, most unstoppable version of yourself. Everything changes the moment you decide. Not when you wish, not when you hope, and not when you feel ready. Transformation begins the instant you make a non-negotiable decision to change. Until that decision is made, you will stay stuck in the same patterns, facing the same struggles, and repeating the same excuses. You can read every book, attend every seminar, and listen to every motivational speech, but none of it will matter if you never make the internal decision to step into a new version of yourself. The power has always been in your hands, but most people never take ownership of it. They wait for circumstances to change before they act, not realizing that circumstances don't change until they do. A real decision is not just a thought, it's a shift in identity. It is a moment where you say, I will no longer be this person. I will no longer tolerate this version of myself. I will no longer accept the limitations I have placed on my life. A real decision eliminates hesitation because it removes all other options. There is no maybe, there is no trying, there is only forward movement. When you truly decide, there is no need for external motivation because the commitment is already made. The problem is that most people don't decide. They entertain the idea of change without ever fully committing to it. They dip their toes in the water but never dive in. And because they never fully commit, they never fully transform. Most people don't change because they keep negotiating with their weaknesses. They allow their old habits, fears, and excuses to have a say in their decisions. They tell themselves they will change when they feel more confident, when they have more time, when they have more resources. But those conditions never arrive. Growth is not convenient. The person who waits for the perfect time to change will be waiting forever. The decision to change must be made in the middle of uncertainty, in the middle of fear, in the middle of discomfort. If you wait until it feels easy, you will never do it. If you wait until you're not scared, you will never move. The decision has to come first, and the confidence, the clarity, and the results will follow. Most people overestimate the difficulty of making a decision and underestimate the power that decision has. They think that transforming their life requires some long, drawn-out process, but in reality, it happens in an instant. One moment, one commitment, one internal shift can change everything. The process of becoming that new person may take time, but the decision to become them is immediate. It is the difference between someone who wants to change and someone who must change. When something becomes a must, you will do whatever it takes. You won't need to be pushed. You will be pulled by the vision of who you are becoming. Every transformation story begins with a single decision. The decision to get healthy. The decision to stop tolerating toxic relationships. The decision to become financially free. The decision to pursue a dream. The people who create extraordinary results in their lives are not necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who made an unshakable decision and backed it up with action. They burned the bridges to their old life, eliminating the possibility of going back. They did not just say they wanted change, they committed to it so deeply that failure was not an option. That kind of decision creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Without decision, nothing else matters. You can have the best strategy, the best tools, the best mentors, but if you have not decided, truly decided to change, nothing will stick. That's why so many people start something new with excitement, but quit the moment things get difficult. They were interested, but they were not committed. Interest fades, commitment sustains, and commitment begins with an absolute decision that no matter what, you are going to become the person you were meant to be. If you haven't made that decision, you will always find reasons to stay the same. You will always find distractions, setbacks, and excuses that keep you exactly where you are. Your current life is a reflection of every decision you have made up until this point. Every choice, every commitment, and every hesitation has led you to where you are right now. And that means if you want something different, you have to start making different decisions. Nothing changes until you decide that it must. The moment you get to that level of commitment, the moment you decide that you will not settle for anything less, the universe will start to move in your favor. The resources, the opportunities, the right people, they will show up, but only after you make the first move. The decision comes first, and the results come second. The reason most people never experience transformation is because they never cross the line between I want to and I will. They live in the gray area of indecision, where they convince themselves they are thinking about changing, but in reality, they are just delaying action. They are afraid to commit fully because commitment means responsibility, and responsibility means there is no one left to blame. But the moment you step out of indecision, the moment you truly decide to transform, everything changes. Not because the world changes, but because you do, and when you change, the world responds accordingly. The person you are today is only a reflection of the choices, habits, and beliefs you have carried up to this point. But that version of you is not set in stone. You are not bound by your past, your struggles, or your failures. You have the power to step into a completely new identity, one that aligns with the highest version of yourself. But stepping into a new identity requires more than just wanting it. It requires embodying it. You must start thinking, acting, and making decisions as the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. If you continue to operate from the same mindset, the same fears, and the same limitations, you will only recreate the same reality. Transformation is not about pretending, it is about becoming. The reason so many people stay stuck is that they try to change their lives without changing their identity. They set goals, but they still see themselves as the person who struggles to achieve them. They desire success, but they still identify with the habits of someone who procrastinates, hesitates, and plays small. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. It sets the standard for what you believe is possible. If you don't elevate your self-image, your external reality will always snap back to the level of the person you believe yourself to be. You cannot outperform your own identity. If you want lasting change, you must fully embrace a new way of being, not just temporarily, but permanently. Stepping into your new identity requires shedding the old one. This means letting go of the labels, beliefs, and narratives that no longer serve you. If you have always seen yourself as someone who struggles with confidence, you must rewrite that story. If you have identified as someone who always falls short, you must reject that version of yourself. Every time you say, that's just the way I am, you reinforce an identity that keeps you trapped, you must begin telling yourself a new story, one where you are disciplined, where you are powerful, where you are capable of achieving more than you ever thought possible. Your words, your thoughts, and your actions must align with the version of yourself you are stepping into. Most people struggle to step into a new identity because they are afraid of the unknown. The old identity, no matter how limiting, feels familiar. It feels safe. Even if it has kept you stuck, at least you know what to expect. But transformation requires stepping into uncertainty. It requires walking into a version of yourself that you have never met before, and that can be uncomfortable. But comfort is the enemy of growth. The only way to truly evolve is to embrace the discomfort of becoming someone greater than you have ever been. The fear of stepping into something new is only temporary. The regret of staying the same lasts a lifetime. You must also be willing to break free from the environment that reinforces your old identity. If the people around you only see you as the version of yourself you are trying to leave behind, you will constantly be pulled back into old patterns. Your circle matters. The conversations you engage in matter. If you continue to surround yourself with people who accept mediocrity, who justify their excuses, and who never push themselves to grow, you will struggle to sustain your transformation. Elevating your identity often requires elevating your environment. Seek out people who challenge you, who inspire you, who see the highest version of you, even when you doubt yourself. Becoming the new you requires proving it to yourself through action. You cannot just think differently, you must act differently. If you tell yourself you are a disciplined person, but your actions reflect inconsistency, you will not believe the new identity you're trying to adopt. Your mind needs evidence. Start small if you have to, but start. Do things that align with the identity you are stepping into. If you see yourself as a leader, start leading. If you see yourself as someone who is in control of their health, start making decisions that align with that belief. Every action you take in alignment with your new identity reinforces it and makes it more real. One of the biggest challenges in stepping into a new identity is letting go of who you were yesterday. Your past does not define you, but if you keep looking back, you will keep recreating the same patterns. You must be willing to release the version of yourself that played small, that hesitated, that settled for less. That version of you had its purpose. It got you here, but it is not the version of you that will take you to the next level. You must give yourself permission to evolve, to outgrow old behaviors, and to fully embrace the strength, confidence, and discipline of the person you are becoming. The new you is already within you. It is simply waiting for you to claim it. This is not about pretending to be something you are not. It is about stepping into the truth of who you were always meant to be. It is about recognizing that you were never meant to be average, never meant to stay stuck, never meant to live in fear. You have the power to rewrite your story at any moment. The question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you are willing. Are you willing to stop settling for a lesser version of yourself? Are you willing to step into a new identity even when it feels uncomfortable? Are you willing to become the person you were always meant to be? Because the moment you fully commit to that, everything in your life will begin to change. Discipline is the separator between those who dream and those who achieve. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Talent will not get you there. Luck will not get you there. Good intentions will not get you there. Only discipline has the power to turn your vision into reality. Every great accomplishment, every extraordinary success, and every life-changing transformation is built on a foundation of discipline. It is not a gift that some people are born with. It is a decision that must be made daily. Without it, your potential remains just that, potential. With it, you become unstoppable. Most people never reach their destiny because they refuse to pay the price of discipline. They want success, but they also want comfort. They want results, but they do not want to sacrifice. They crave achievement, but they are controlled by their emotions, their habits, and their distractions. The truth is, discipline is not something you do when you feel like it. It is something you commit to no matter how you feel. It is waking up early when you would rather sleep in. It is going to the gym when your body is tired. It is working on your goals when no one is watching, no one is clapping, and no one is rewarding you. It is doing what needs to be done even when motivation is gone. Discipline means rejecting excuses. It means refusing to let circumstances dictate your actions. Weak people let their environment determine their level of effort. If it's raining outside, they don't go to the gym. If they feel tired, they don't work on their business. If they face obstacles, they quit. Disciplined people, on the other hand, do not wait for perfect conditions. They take action regardless of the situation. They understand that their future is not controlled by luck or chance, but by the decisions they make every single day. Discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't care where you come from, what your background is, or what disadvantages you have. If you are disciplined, you will rise. If you are not, you will fall. Your destiny is determined by your daily habits, not by one-time efforts. Most people fail because they are inconsistent. They start strong but give up when it gets hard. They go through cycles of excitement followed by laziness, motivation followed by complacency. But success does not come to those who work hard once in a while. It comes to those who work hard every single day. It comes to those who are disciplined enough to do the right things over and over again, even when progress is slow, even when results are invisible, even when no one else believes in them. The strongest, most successful people in the world did not get there because they were lucky. They got there because they refused to stop. Discipline is what separates champions from the average. It is the reason why two people with the same opportunities can end up with completely different results. One of them stays focused, does the work, and pushes through every challenge, while the other one finds reasons to quit. One of them sticks to the plan, while the other one keeps looking for shortcuts. One of them stays consistent, while the other one only shows up when they feel inspired. The difference is not intelligence, talent, or background. It is discipline. The person who is willing to show up day in and day out will always outperform the person who waits for the perfect moment. Most people struggle with discipline because they are slaves to their emotions. They do what feels good in the moment instead of what is necessary for their future. They let temporary pleasure rob them of long-term success. They waste time on distractions, comfort, and entertainment while their goals sit untouched. But disciplined people operate differently. They understand that emotions are temporary, but results are permanent. They don't care if they feel tired, unmotivated, or bored. They do what needs to be done anyway. They know that success is not about how you feel, it is about what you do. The disciplined person does not wait for inspiration. They create it through action. Discipline requires sacrifice. It means saying no to things that do not serve your highest purpose. It means cutting out distractions, eliminating bad habits, and refusing to waste time on meaningless activities. It means giving up short-term pleasure for long-term success. Most people are not willing to make those sacrifices, which is why they never reach their full potential. They want results, but they are not willing to let go of the things holding them back. But here's the truth. You cannot have both. You cannot be disciplined and lazy at the same time. You cannot be successful and inconsistent at the same time. You must choose. And if you choose discipline, you choose destiny. The greatest rewards in life are reserved for those who are willing to do what others won't. The disciplined person is not the most gifted, the most privileged, or the most lucky. They are simply the one who refused to quit. They are the one who showed up when it was hard, who pushed through when it was painful, and who stayed focused when everyone else got distracted. They understand that discipline is not a burden, it is a weapon. It is the price you must pay to achieve greatness. And those who are willing to pay that price are the ones who will reach their destiny. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to knock on your door, hand you a new life, and take away all of your struggles. Nobody is going to give you the discipline, the drive, or the mindset you need to succeed. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you will take full responsibility for your life. Too many people waste years waiting for help, waiting for a lucky break, waiting for the perfect moment. They wait, and in the end, nothing changes because they refuse to realize that their future is in their own hands. If you don't step up and take control, you will stay exactly where you are. People who succeed in life understand one simple truth: nobody owes you anything. The world does not care about your excuses, your struggles, or your past. It does not care if you feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. Life is going to keep moving forward whether you take action or not. And if you sit back and wait for someone to fix your problems, you will watch opportunities pass you by while others take what could have been yours. The people who create success don't sit around hoping for someone to rescue them. They decide to become their own savior. They refuse to be victims of their circumstances and instead take full control of their future. One of the biggest lies people believe is that someone else is responsible for their success. They look at wealthy, successful, and powerful people and assume that they had some kind of special advantage. They convince themselves that if only they had more support, more money, or better circumstances, they too could be successful. But the truth is, most people who achieve greatness started with nothing. They weren't born into success, they built it. And they built it because they stopped making excuses and started taking responsibility for everything in their life, good or bad. The moment you stop blaming others and start owning your choices, your entire life will begin to shift. Nobody is going to push you to become great. You have to push yourself. Nobody is going to wake you up early, force you to work hard, or make sure you stay consistent. If you want success, you have to become self-motivated. You have to create your own discipline, set your own standards, and hold yourself accountable. Most people fail not because they don't have talent, but because they don't have the discipline to show up every single day and do the work. They are waiting for someone to tell them what to do, waiting for approval, waiting for permission. But if you keep waiting, you will watch life pass you by while others take action and create the results you wish you had. The harsh reality is that nobody is coming to make your dreams happen for you. You have to build them yourself. You have to stop looking outside of yourself for answers and start realizing that everything you need is already within you. You don't need permission to start. You don't need validation to take action. You don't need anyone else to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself enough to start moving. The longer you sit around waiting for someone to recognize your potential, the longer you will stay stuck. You have to be willing to bet on yourself before anyone else ever does. You have to believe in your vision even when no one else can see it. Most people live their entire lives waiting. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time. They wait for someone to come along and show them the way. But while they are waiting, time is slipping away. Every day that you spend waiting is a day you could have spent building. Every moment you waste making excuses is a moment you could have spent creating results. Successful people don't wait. They act. They don't sit around hoping for change. They make it happen. They understand that life is not going to give them what they want just because they want it. They have to go out and take it. Your life is 100% your responsibility. The money you don't have, the success you haven't achieved, the discipline you lack, it all comes down to you. It's not the government's fault. It's not your family's fault. It's not your circumstances, your upbringing, or your past. It's you. And the moment you stop waiting for someone to change things for you and start taking full ownership of your life, everything will change. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the excuses you keep telling yourself. The sooner you stop making them, the sooner you will start winning. Nobody is coming to save you, but that is the best news you will ever hear, because that means you don't have to wait. You don't have to rely on anyone else. You have everything you need to succeed, and the only thing left to do is take action. Life is not going to hand you success. It is not going to reward you for sitting on the sidelines. It will only reward those who are willing to get up, take control, and create their own destiny. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when everything lines up exactly how you want it. There will always be obstacles, always be distractions, always be reasons to wait. But the longer you wait, the more opportunities you let slip away. Too many people convince themselves that they need to prepare more, learn more, or wait for some magical sign before they take action. But preparation without execution is just procrastination. The truth is, your time is not in the future. Your time is now. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your decision to start. Most people live their entire lives stuck in someday thinking. They say they will chase their dreams someday, work on their goals someday, take action someday, but someday is a lie. Someday is the excuse people use to justify their inaction. Someday is how dreams die. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who decided to start despite the obstacles. They did not wait for the right time. They made the time right. They understood that time is the one thing you never get back, and every second wasted is a second lost forever. Fear is the biggest thief of time. People hesitate because they are afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of stepping outside of their comfort zone. But the only real failure is never trying. The only real regret is knowing you had the chance to go after something and didn't take it. Fear will always be there, but it is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to push forward. Fear is proof that you are stepping into something greater. The people who succeed in life are not the ones without fear. They are the ones who move forward despite it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act anyway. Excuses will always be available. You can always find a reason why now is not the right time. You can tell yourself you don't have enough experience, enough knowledge, enough resources. You can wait until you feel more ready, more confident, more certain, but waiting will not bring success. Action will. There is no such thing as the perfect moment, because success is not given to those who wait. It is earned by those who move. Every person who has ever achieved anything started before they felt ready. They started when they had doubts, when they had fears, when they had obstacles, but they started anyway. Your time is now, because tomorrow is not promised. You do not have forever to make your dreams happen. You do not have unlimited chances. Every day that passes is one less day you have to build the life you want. The clock is ticking, and every second wasted is time you will never get back. The people who win in life are not the ones who waited until they felt prepared. They are the ones who looked at their circumstances, looked at their dreams, and decided to take action immediately. They did not wait for permission, for motivation, or for validation. They made a decision and moved. Procrastination is the enemy of success. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Every day you delay is another day reinforcing the habit of inaction. People do not fail because they lack talent or potential. They fail because they never begin. They spend years talking about what they are going to do instead of actually doing it. They spend their lives stuck in preparation mode planning mode, thinking mode, but never execution mode. The difference between winners and everyone else is not intelligence, skill, or luck. It is the willingness to take action now without waiting for everything to be perfect. There will always be challenges. There will always be setbacks. But the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to overcome them. The longer you hesitate, the more comfortable you become with mediocrity. Every great success story started with a moment of decision. A moment where someone said, "Enough is enough. I refuse to wait any longer." That moment of decision changes everything. It is the moment where fear no longer controls you, where hesitation no longer defines you, where excuses no longer hold you back. That moment is where transformation begins. And that moment is available to you right now. This is your time, not because everything is perfect, not because all the conditions are right, but because you are alive, you are breathing, and you have the ability to take action. Everything you have been waiting for starts with the decision to move. Every dream you have ever had is within reach the moment you stop hesitating and start doing. You don't need more time. You need to use the time you have. You don't need more knowledge. You need to apply what you already know. You don't need to wait any longer. You need to step forward and take control of your future now.